Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of Dev Guild. My name is Merdan. I am the new host of Dev Guild and also the new DevRel at Super Team Germany. So you'll be seeing a lot of me going forward. Our previous host, Mike, shout out to Mike. Who hosted Dev Guild before. He's moved on to a new role and we wish him all the best. But I'm super excited for today because we have a special guest and we will also cover a really interesting topic today. We will cover how Dialect helps you ship better Solana DeFi experiences faster with Blinks for instant on-chain actions and Markets and Positions API to build real user flows like market discovery and wallet-aware actions. And for that, I'm joined by a special guest, Björn, Developer Relations Engineer at Dialect. Hey, Björn.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Great to have you on.
GM, thank you so much and congrats on your new position. It's amazing that Super Team has such a new DevRel now. And also, Mike, all the best from my side. I know you're going to rock it in the new position, so keep crushing it.
Absolutely. All the best to Mike. And thanks. Mike, Björn is also a familiar face on this channel, by the way. He is a former DevRel at Super Team Germany as well. And he's also the creator of Dev Guild, for those that don't know. I'm right. You're the creator, right? If I'm not mistaken.
It all started, yeah, with this.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, and now you're with Dialect, obviously. Before we start, can you for the viewers that don't know about Dialect, can you give a brief overview about what Dialect is and what you guys do?
For sure. So I will keep it very brief because we will integrate most of our stuff already during the session. So for us, Dialect, we have mostly two products that people think of us. First one is called an alert stack. I already did a few presentations about this as well. It lets you send very important messages to your users, for example, liquidation events or whatever you want them to know. This goes through an in-app chat. This goes through push notifications. This also goes through email and Telegram. So you can really touch your users where they are and send them the information once they need it. And we have Blinks. Blinks are transactions. So imagine you have an API and this API would just send you this one transaction that you need in right that moment, depositing into a protocol, withdrawing something, claiming rewards, you name it. And those Blinks, they follow a specific specification built with Solana Foundation during the last year. And we are the project building on top of the standard and pushing it forward. And what we did with that, this is what we're going to show you now or today or later, whenever we have the time.
Exactly. And actually, before we start with that, Björn, let me give our viewers a brief info about a hackathon that is currently live. Let me share my screen for that. There's this hackathon called Solana Graveyard Hackathon. And I will tell you more about it later, but there is a Blinks track. It's sponsored by Orbitflare. And we will basically cover everything that you will need to participate and ship something. I think this is a great excuse if you want to ship something. It's right here. And we will cover everything. So, but more about it later. I guess we can kick things off, Björn. Should we start with the standards Blinks library or? How do you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the easiest way to explain what we do is by just showing. So show, not tell. I will, of course, speak a little bit as well so that you get all the context around it. But I thought we built an own app live now. This is the easiest way. And during this time, we will explore all the APIs and all the stuff that's important.
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
So if you want, I can start. Let's just make sure that my screen is shared, and then we can continue.
Yep, the floor is yours.
Amazing. All right, everyone. I'm super stoked to present to you what we've been cooking recently, because I think it's now the time to really shine some light here. And it all starts with our docs and with a new project. So the first thing that I want to show you is our docs, because we will need this website a lot in the next time. And the second thing that I want to do is prepare a little project. So let's start with our terminal, Ghosty, and let's just go into my workspace and let's create a new project. We will not reinvent the wheel here. We will just create a Solana dApp. Solana has a great scaffold for this. It's called npx create Solana dApp. If you do at latest, you will always get the recent version of this. You see it asks you a few questions. We will use the Kit framework, and we will also use the Next.js template. And with those 2 clicks, it makes boom, and it gives me a ready to start project. We will see this in a second. So right now it's installing all the npm dependencies and whatever we need. But also for you, if you really want to start with something, I'm not sure if you saw, there's also Solana Mobile as a template there. This is really the way, because it's maintained well, and it's always extended if there is new stuff coming in. So it's really a great place to start if this is a new project. And I already will do a little bit of split screen here, because this is how we're going to work today. And nice.
Can you zoom in a bit, Björn? It's a bit small.
A bit small?
Yeah.
Okay, let me make it a bit bigger, better.
1 second. Yeah, I think it's better now.
Okay, perfect. So let's go into the dev guild here. What you see is it basically just created the scaffold project for me right now. It's a Next.js template, as I said before. Let's do npm install to make sure everything was well installed, and make an npm run dev to have it to spin up a local development server, and see if it's loading. Yes, it loads. Perfect. So what you see here is we have the wallet. We have a little TLDR, what this thing is. All great here. Next thing that we will do, because we will not pretend that we live under a rock, we will, of course, use Claude here. So let me fire this one up as well. And then let's go back to our documentation and what I want to show you here. So our documentation for today, the important parts of it are our standard Blinks library and our markets and position beta. So we will start with markets and positions. And the reason for that is, if we look through a user flow, the first thing a user probably wants to see is what can he actually do and explore. And this means you need some data that you can show to the user so that he can act on it. And our markets is the perfect endpoint for this. So if you go to our website and you go through things, we have market types in which we describe to you what market types are and how they work. But for our API right now, what we need is here our list all markets endpoint. And this endpoint gives you public available data from Solana's DeFi protocols. So if you scroll a bit down here, you will see that we support Camino, Lulu, MarginFi, Jupiter, DeFi, Tuna, DeFi Carrot, and also DFlow. yes, prediction markets was recently added as well. And it gives you a nice way to display this with a single fetch. And what I mean by that is, if you click here in our documentation on Try Now, we have already pre-filled a few things for you so that you just click on Send and you can see a possible response from our API, what you can expect from it. So right now, the API, what you can see here, gives us yield, but it will also give us different markets as well. For example, multiply, which we support. And because we want to have an easy app, today I thought we do a DeFi app where you can just deposit into lending protocol. We will use Jupyter for that. We set a few filters to make things easier. So I will say the type that we will use today is yield, because this is the part of the market that we want to use. And the providers that we will use today is, on the one hand, is Jupyter, and the other is Lulo. We will use both of them. And we also set the limit to 100. We will have way less markets, but that's good enough. Let's do another fetch and see. Yeah, it returns me Lulo here. That's great. And with that, I will start implementing on the one side and then explain to you more what we actually have here on the other side. If you want to implement it, we have here a little drop-down menu. You can just choose JavaScript. And then let's have our little Claude working for us. So let's say GM. We always have to be nice to AI, remember. I want to build a little DeFi dashboard that displays Solana's top yields. To do so, please write a new endpoint. Use this API. I want to see the protocol and APY as well as the token and TVL. And then normally this is enough, but what I also do, especially now, is I give him an example response so that it's faster. Sometimes it needs to refetch stuff, but with an example response, it just works. So please show me this data on the landing page. Okay, and while this is now working for us, I will show you a bit what the API response actually gives us here. Because we put a lot of thought into this product, and I think it went really well. And the first thing that I want to show you here is that we have a type, and this type is called yield. And this is quite important, because if we, for example, would go to Camino, and we would look how products on Camino are called, we will see that their product is called Lend once the page is loaded. Lend here, right? If we now go to Jupyter and we go to their lending product, we will see that they decided to call this product Earn. And when we go to Lulo, you will see that they basically just do Earn. So they don't have borrow, nothing else, but it's just Lulo, right? So their product is called Boost and Protected. So for you as a developer for the app, it's super cumbersome because you have to remember how they call those products. And for marketing reasons, they tend to rename it. So building one API that has all these markets in it is very hard. And once they rename it, it always crashes. Let me just say yes here. So what we decided to do is we have a type of a market. In this case, it's lending. We also have a lend. This type is yield, which means you just deposit once and you earn yields. And this way, you know always what to filter for. Like it doesn't matter if you want to show a market that's on Camino, if it's on Jupyter, if it's on MarginFi, it doesn't really matter. you say you want to have the type yield, and we will give you this kind of market. The market always works the same way. So that's kind of cool. But again, we just talked about marketing. And for marketing reasons, we also give you the product name. So Lulu has decided to call one of their product Boost, and we give you exactly this name here in our API. The second thing that makes it so cool is that we actually give you a bit more information that the normal API would give you. And it starts with the name of the protocol, including the icon. So for example, if I would now want to build a UI, a nice UI, because the user wants to see images and stuff, we will give you a Lulu icon here that you can just use to build a nice UI. And the same actually goes with the token. So if you, for example, use a normal SDK, you fetch something from somewhere, most of the time what they will give you is the mint. Yes, nice. And they will give you the decimals, because this is the only thing that really matters. But for you, maybe you want to build a dashboard, a user-facing product. This is not enough. You actually also want to have the token symbol. And you also want an icon, because icons are nice. So normally what you would do is you would go and fetch a few more APIs to bundle together all this information. But with our API, we have it already for you. So you see here the address, which is the token mint. In this case, it is USDC. You get the token ticker as well as the decimals. And again, we give you also, and this is in most APIs missing, an image. So you can see the image of the token as well, which means all this information that I just showed you is powerful enough to build a little UI for you. So let's see, because it says it's done here. Let's see if it does something. Oh, nice, it does. So what you can see now is, in the meanwhile, while I was talking, Claude took this information and decided how to render stuff, because I didn't tell a lot, and has now all the information for me here collected. So what we can see is the token ticker, what we just said. We see the image. We see the protocol inclusive, the image. Then what we couldn't talk of right now is we also have here the APYs, so that it is clear what you actually can earn for the protocol is also nicely rendered here. And the TVL, so that you have an idea how big the market is. So with this one API fetch, we already have a really nice table here that lets me actually look for what's going on in DeFi right now. And again, we have more protocols here. We also have, as I said, Camino in there, MarginFi, and so on and so forth, DeFi Carrot. But I decided intentionally to only render here Jupiter and Lulu. This is why you only see here Jupiter and Lulu in our table. So in short, integrating many protocols, understanding how much APY a user can get in those protocols, what the token is, all this information is already there, one single fetch. So this is the start with our Markets API. Do you have any questions so far? Maybe chat has questions, or should I just continue, Merdan?
Yeah, guys, if you have questions, feel free to write them in the chat. Yeah, I guess you could continue, but I also saw that you guys have something related to perpetuals. Maybe you could briefly say something about that as well, because I think that's a really important topic as well.
Yes, so the perpetuals here is something we are still building on. Right now, we support it for Camino. So even though it is more like token moves, like swaps, we have started with this, and we are working right now with a few providers actually to integrate their perps. But I cannot say too much of it right now. I'm really sorry, but fingers crossed that soon I can talk. Nice. But in the end, it will look the same. It will be the same way. And I think this is really cool, because if you really think of it, this is a very unified way for you to go through all the protocols and get all the information that you need to render such a powerful UI. But
exactly. Yeah.
No, please continue.
Yeah, because I actually had the same problem because I've been working a lot with different perpetual DEXs and having to integrate different APIs and having to maintain that is really troublesome. So this solution is definitely makes sense.
Nice. I love to hear that. And I totally agree. And speaking of running those APIs here in our project, it is really a lot of work to maintain them because protocols change, not just the naming, they also change other stuff in the backend. They update their SDKs and stuff. So for you, always having an API where you know you go there, you fetch, you get it, is actually kind of nice, I would say.
Exactly.
The interesting part here is what I also wanted to highlight is we have one more field here, which is called additional data. This can be empty. This can have something. In our case, it's really boring, I would say, because we have USDC lending or a lending protocol, nothing more. But for example, for Lulu, they do have a withdraw cooldown period in their Boost project, in their Boost offering. So basically, this additional data would tell you there is something like a withdraw cooldown hour in it. So you can basically render everything already in the UI. And really cool is when you are in Jupyter, because Jupyter, the way Jupyter Earn works is they basically give you another token. So imagine you deposit USDC in their protocol, they will give you something else as a token back. So now you have a new token. This new token has also a different, a token also has a mint. A token also has a simple decimal icon, right? So how do you get this token? Well, this is our deposit token, right? But if I scroll a bit down, because here we are in Jupyter, you will see that we give you the share token back as well. So you can also see what is the token I'm getting back, and you can render it already in your UI. It's all in there. So I think pretty powerful stuff. And also what many UIs also or APIs wouldn't give you is something we call total deposit in US dollars. Here we are speaking right now about USDC token, so it's not important, but let's say we would go to Solana and would have a Sol token. You would see that the total deposit amount, of course, is the total amount of Solana tokens in there. But how much is this actually in USDC? Well, do the math. No, don't do the math. We have it here for you. So you can always render it. It's like a super easy, super fast, super convenient way to just display the information your user actually needs.
Nice.
But of course, this is not enough because displaying this is read-only. But what we actually want, we want a user to interact with our app as well. And we have also the right handle, or let's say the right tool for this. We call it Blinks, blockchain links. And what they do is they return you a transaction that you can just use, sign, and send again out, and it will work. And you see them as well here. So we have here an own field called actions. And here we have a deposit and a withdraw action. And they have basically a URL. And this URL can be used to either deposit or withdraw into the protocol. All the SDKs, all the hard work that you would have to do, learning the protocol, understanding everything, making sure the transaction lands, all these things we do for you. Because we extract all this complexity away and just send you a clean transaction. And I will talk a bit more about it in a second. I will just want to start the next command for our Claude so that it can run. Let's say amazing. That worked. Can you please now create a deposit? We have the endpoint in actions, actions, deposit, link URL, and it takes as URL param either per amount or percentage. Okay, let's see if this works. In the meanwhile, let's discuss a bit more how these blinks actually work. So I said it's a set, or it is ready to sign transaction, but where can you find them? Of course, you can find them here in our URL, but sometimes you're just looking for the transaction. You don't want to go through our markets API and everything. And our markets API doesn't necessarily cover all the protocols that you might want. But we started building out something that we call the standard Blinks library. And this is the second tab here on the left side. And this is really a curated set of endpoints that you can just use. We build them, we maintain them, we run daily tests, we make sure that this is soft and smooth and easy for you. So if in any point in time you might see that we don't offer public market data right now, then if we don't do it, we don't have it in the markets API right now, you can still find the protocol and the blink if we build it. So for Jupyter, for example, in our example, in the standard Blinks library, you will see here our earn. And the earn gives you a deposit, which is exactly this URL that we just saw, like tilde deposit, like Jupyter API, lend earn USDC deposit. If we go back into our, oh shit, I closed the tab, sorry. Let me quickly open a new one. If we now go here into our API, and we say again, we have yield, and we have Jupyter, yes. And we say we want USDC. You will find here in the actions, again, jupyter.dai.to/API/v0 lend earn USDC deposit. So the exact same link, then we have it here. And again, you can play with it because we have a little demo wallet so that you can just send fire and forget transactions to see how everything works, which means here's everything pre-filled. And a blink, the way a blink works is it gets all the information it needs through URL params. So basically, we say here we want the USDC vault, USDC. We want to deposit 10%, percentage 10. And we want to do it with this wallet. This is part of the body. So basically here. And if I click now on send, it will send me a transaction back. And this transaction can be used to deposit into the protocol USDC 10% of my current wallet USDC that I have. And we can also check that. So if we, for example, go to explorer.solana.com and we run it, you will see that this is our transaction. If we click on simulate, it will say that it's returned success. So we're good. Let me, in the meanwhile, sometimes say yes here, that it continues working for us. And you can also see that this is basically USDC into the Jupyter Lend protocol. And then in this case, you would receive, I think, 1.33 JL USDC. So the token we just discussed that you can find all the information of in the additional data field, like here. So right now we have to wait until this thing has built everything. But for you as developer, not wanting to reinvent the wheel all the time and want the API that just works, this is nice. And you saw we are on the earn side right now because we're using filters. We also have a borrow part of it. And we also have a swap. Of course we have. But you will not find a swap in the markets and positions API because it makes no sense, at least not for now. And here you see we have more protocols. We have Radium implemented. We have Safe, DeFi Tuner, DeFi Carrot. We have strategy vaults from Drift. We have the biggest built-out protocol from our side, which is Camino. In Camino, again, you have Land. Land is what we just discussed. And for Camino, it's even nicer because again, I didn't want to overcomplicate stuff, but let's say we would do yield and we would do Camino. What you can see is that in some markets, Camino has some promotions and they offer rewards. In this market, they don't. But in this market, they do. So what you can see now is if you go to the Camino website and you go to the LAN, sometimes you see this icon here on the side, which means you get a reward. Like this is a PyUSD reward. Here is a UMA reward and a USDC reward. Actually, was this UMA here? Yeah, UMA. Okay, so basically what they do is they don't just give you lending rewards, they give you on top for depositing into the market or do something, a reward. So what we do is we show you what you have to do to get this reward in the market. So you really can build this this dashboard on your side, and your user can also see what are the actual promotions and rewards that they would receive when I deposit on Camino. This is really nice, and also the reason why we have something like a total deposit APY, because you now have base APY plus more deposits and stuff. It can get really tricky in Camino. So this is why it is really nice to have this all listed there. And again, of course, we give you all the information for the market that you need, the token information, the APY and stuff, so that you can really use it, sorry. So going back to Camino, if we look here, so we had this one, you can see there is total combined APY, and then there's lending APY for additional rewards for USDC and UMA. And this is, which market is this? Elemental. Okay. So since I just saw that there is 2 token rewards that seem to be the same that I saw in the APY, let's see how the market actually is called. Elemental USDS optimizer. Yeah. So this was even the same market. So you can really get all the information that you need, inclusive the vault. You know, there's vault risk profiles these days, strategy aggressive. You can have all this information there for your users. Right. So this is cool.
Yeah, let's maybe ask the viewers if they have some questions regarding this. Don't forget, guys, there's a hackathon going on. If you're building something yourself, if you have any bugs or any questions that you want to ask, this is the perfect time to get an answer. But yeah, if there are no questions, we can keep going.
All right.
Yeah.
So 2 more things that I wanted to show with Camino. So the first thing is Camino has those promotions, the rewards, and you get them in this API. Really nice. You can decide to just show the full deposit APY or go down the full rabbit hole and show the user what they want to do. But also those rewards have to be claimed. You don't get them by default. So what we have here now is we basically have a claim rewards APY as well. So if you go now and want to use full implementation of Camino on your side, you have a deposit operation for Lend, you have the withdraw operation, and you have the operation for claiming the rewards. If you go on the other hand on borrow, you will see that we have blinks for withdrawing, depositing as well. For multiply, we have also an account creation blink. So there's lots of things that you actually can find here. Basically, more or less every transaction that you would need in the protocol. We do our very best to cover that for you, so that only you have to decide what you want to do. So deposit into the Lend protocol, say send, and it's done. Here's my transaction. All right. This looks, when he is implementing models, that he's almost done, I guess. So from our side, what is the SBL? It is a set of ready-to-make transactions for you, maintained, tested, so you can just use them and give them away and give them to your users to use. Okay, he says it's done. Let's see if this worked. One-shotting a transaction is always interesting. So now what we can see is we have a deposit button here. And let me quickly open my wallet. All right. And we said we want to deposit into the Jupiter protocol. So there's USDC for Jupiter. Let's say deposit. Let's say you want to deposit one USDC. One USDC, we remember here is the Jupiter Land USDC. At the moment, our wallet has one USDC in it. Let's see if it's working. Okay, it opens a new window. It shows me here the SOL, how much it is, how much I will get back in the JL USDC token. Let's say approve and done. All right, so it gives me here the transaction. We can look at in the Explorer if everything worked fine as expected. It looks good. I can see here that my Jupiter Land USDC is now on $2. So it's done. So right now we have a dashboard that would allow you to show current APYs and deposit into the protocol. This is already nice. And this is already a lot of work to do when you would build this all yourself. But we're not done yet. Because one thing is reading the public data. The public data basically is, okay, this is the protocol, this is the token, this is the APY that I can get from it. And now we did this deposit and boom, my money is gone, right? No, it's not gone. It's just in the protocol. But I cannot see it. So how can I actually track my position? Well, for this, we also have an API that you can just use. It is maybe even easier easier than the list all markets. And we call it the markets and positions. And all this thing needs from you is your wallet address here, and it will work. So let me quickly fire this one before we fire it here. And I say something to it. Let's say, great job. Now we need to show the user their open positions. Please use this API and create a new endpoint. Here is an example. And now I have to push the button, sorry. Okay, let's give it a response. Say enter. And our endpoint, what it actually does is it gives you all the things that you need to know. So for example, what we used to do is we have a demo wallet. In this demo wallet, we open positions. Why? Because we want you as a user to just enjoy and explore what we offer. So therefore, you will find here something called loop, which is actually Camino multiply. We have a position in there, it's shown. It shows you there also the tokens that are in there. It also gives you, again, the Blink URLs that you need to take action. So if you at some point want to withdraw, well, there is a Blink for that. This is our withdraw action, and there is the URL. All you have to do is tell your UI buddy, look, I want to withdraw, render me the button, make the same that you just did with the deposit, and it's fine. We also give you public market data, more or less, here. So you can still see what is the name, what are the tokens, what are the APYs, and all those things. It's all in there as well. So the interesting part here to mention is that if you, let's say, are in the positions part, you would at some point think, dang, yeah, now I have to query again the markets because I have to render something. I want to render the APY or whatever it might be. But with this positions API, you don't have to, because we give you the market data already in our response. So you don't have to bother about this. You don't have to run to another API and query stuff again. It's all just there for you, and you can just start using it. So this is the second part of our design spec. So the first is give the public data and give the action to do something with it using Blinks. The second part is that every API should be with one fetch good enough to provide you all the information that you might need to build such a powerful UI. I don't have added a filter. I forgot about that. So now we probably will see a bit more than we wanted to. Oh, it already has it. Yes. So here are all my positions that we have in our demo wallet. We probably only want to use yield. So please filter and only show me the yield market types for positions. See if we can do it. And with that, I think we already have proved everything, have shown our protocols, have shown the APIs, have shown how you can deposit into a market, how you can build such a powerful dashboard. Or we can maybe say is make the header nicer, give it a nice headline and sub-headline, and render the wallet button on the top right. Also provide information, because we might push this, you said, right?
Yes, I will.
Dialect and our markets and positions. API. Give me 2 seconds, I will just add it, and then the users can, if they decide to clone it. Standard Blinks library, which is this one. And that's it.
Great. I mean, this is huge, guys. Like, I think there's a lot of people are sleeping on like what you guys are doing. It's so much easier to do this like with your guys' APIs. And another thing that I've noticed is you guys have an MCP connection, an MCP server, right? Maybe
Yes.
you could tell us about a little about your cloud setup and the MCP connection. And I also noticed that you, before you gave those commands, you pasted the return structure or response. That's something that I do as well. I think it kind of helps make the AI less errors. Maybe you can go over your setup so our users, our viewers can get the best responses.
Yeah, for sure. So I I actually don't have a big setup here. Our documentation itself says here MCP, but this is something that does come with our documentation tool called Mintlify. I don't use this MCP server, to be fully honest with you, because when I wanted to use it, it was still buggy, and I haven't tried it ever since. And the thing is that because we have APIs, every AI knows how to query an API. They might not know how to build a Solana transaction, but they know how to build an API. And this is what makes it so simple. So there were no MCP calls in the background, nothing. So everything I told it, it just found out by itself, if you will. This is very nice and also very powerful. And this is something actually I want to stress here a bit. It is nice to have AI doing stuff for you. Like we have this dashboard here now, and it's just there, right? And it's just working, and it's nice. But on the other hand, this is a dashboard. The dashboard is a view. There is no money moving, nothing like that. The real pain point, or the real point when it's important, is when you start moving this money. So in this case, you don't want AI hallucinating about this. You actually want the API that works. And this is also where we have this catch here. So our APIs, those we build ourselves. Those transactions are built by us. We review them, we make sure they work, we make sure there is no hallucination, no nothing behind it. So this is the part where you really want to be sure that it works. And this is also what we provide here. For the rest, it is a lot of data. It's nice to render. And because this tricky part, where we speak about the transaction itself and the transaction building, is done through the API, and AI these days knows how to use the API, how to fetch from it, you can basically make this really powerful and build such an experience in less than, like, what is it now, 40 minutes or so. Yeah. Absolutely. And again, no MCP server from my side. If you guys want, I'm more down than ever to see if it's now working actually. I know back then I said, here's Claude Code, Claude Desktop, this is the command to add it, and it should be working. But I cannot really say if it does. And it's, on the other hand, it's so easy. You just saw what I did, that it is not necessary anymore, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we have an Ask AI here. So if you have questions, you can always ask in the chat here, and it will give you the right answer that you need. Also, we have release notes. Every week we show what we ship. So if this is interesting for you guys, if you want to be up to date what we are building on and what we are cooking, yeah, feel free to read them here. We also have a Telegram group in which we post them every Monday. So yeah, it's basically it. And then to conclude everything, so now we have the events, we have the positions, we have the actions, and now you actually want to reach your user. And for this, we have our alert stack, which let you send to your users the alert right in the moment they need it. And yeah,
exactly.
You the 360.
Yeah, thank you. I guess this is the perfect time to ask some questions before we move to the hackathon part and to the $1 million question, what to build. That's always the question. So if you guys have any questions about what Björn just showed and all the APIs, this is the perfect time. I saw a question from Carlo, but it's a bit unrelated. He asks, can you give office hours in the hackathon?
I can try. Yes, of course. I'm going to be traveling next week, but I'm sure we can do that. Yes. Yeah, for sure. Well, I will do a Calendly after this and provide you.
Great. Yeah, the thing is, the hackathon only goes until tomorrow. So I don't know. I think he means the build station, actually. But I'm not sure.
So guys, you saw what I just did in 40 minutes. Just take it and not too late.
I will upload a 10-minute video as well. That will help. And I can try to help you guys as well. I've played around with their APIs as well. But now to the hackathon. Maybe you can give us some ideas on what to build, or maybe like your favorite blinks that you have seen so far, if you can tell us.
Whoa, good question. So people were very, very creative about blinks once they were released almost a year ago. But right now, I think it has shifted a lot, the narrative of blinks, from something that happens only on X, but if it's on X, it has so many prerequisites that it's almost unusable, to something that's really usable, which is the actual transaction. So what I hope in the long run is that we are not just building out those blinks, but we also have people building this out. And I think of it a bit like Zapier. Like imagine you have if this, then that, but not like IFTTT shit, like proper, where you can really say, okay, I need only those APIs, and then every new protocol also provides a set of APIs that can be used. And we build this amazing, huge collection for Solana, where every dev just uses a single API endpoint for whatever they want to do. So this is my goal. So I highly encourage everyone to build your APIs as blinks and not start with a separate API and then start with a blink. Start with a blink immediately, because a blink, you just saw it, it is a standardized way to send a transaction back. And because it's standardized, everyone can integrate this thing in seconds because it's not changing. It's always a transaction, you sign, you send, boom. You update the block hash on your side, that's all. What's missing on the hackathon right now? I actually haven't followed it, I have to admit. I'm really sorry. I see many people trying to make stuff more usable, and I love that. Because crypto, even with AI, is still a lot. I think the next big thing is gonna be, for sure, something related to agents and agents supporting users taking actions with whatever. Can be a chat interface, can be a message in which I say, oh, Sol is down, just buy me 10 of it, or something like that. But I think all those spheres mixing AI with DeFi, this is gonna be the next big thing. And we see many projects actually using it, like our APIs, building them into their agents, building their dashboards, showing user where they have idle money, which they can put into a protocol, swap against their LST, you name it. Like, I think this would be this is a very interesting topic.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like regarding the hackathon, it goes until tomorrow. But so submission is due tomorrow, February 27th. But we basically just built a full app in, I don't know, half an hour or so with explanation. So I think that's plenty of time to ship something. Another thing is I just checked the Telegram group, and there aren't too many signups, I think. So you can sign up here. And since there are not too many signups, I think the probability of winning is higher. So there's that. And what it says is they basically give some examples like trading tools. You can, you obviously have to use Orbitflare's infra, their RPC endpoint, which you can basically get by going to, one second, to orbitflare.com. I can show you. They basically have a free plan where you can, you can get your free plan basically right here. And start building and start integrating it. You even get gRPC access on DevNet, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, I would personally, I just saw this morning that you guys, or just like you mentioned it, the prediction market stuff. I think yesterday when I checked, I didn't see anything. So you guys pushed the update maybe to today, which is really cool because I think prediction markets was something that everyone was talking about on Twitter, I think, because it's obviously like great UX. Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea that people can build on, what I personally think. And yeah, just like Björn just said, like focusing on agents is also something that you guys can look into. Yeah, do you have some other ideas, Björn, maybe? Or some last words before we wrap up?
Prediction market is hot. Everybody's talking about it. I totally agree. And we also track prediction markets positions. So you can with one fetch see which bets you are betting on right now and how your state is. Yeah, hard to say. I mean, this is always a big, tough question, right? What to build.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I can say is, guys, if you're into the hackathon, tons of luck. My fingers are crossed for you guys. If you have questions, reach out. I'm Björn on Telegram. We have a Discord. Björn on Twitter as well. Basically everywhere. Just reach out, say hi, and let me help you. Also, when you need API keys, by the way.
Exactly. You need API keys, guys. Okay, Björn, thanks for coming on today. Appreciate it. Guys, if you found this useful, make sure to subscribe on Super Team Germany or follow us on X. The next one, our next Dev Guild, will be in 2 weeks with another pretty known face on the channel, Leo. We will talk about, we will talk about how you can use AI to build, to ship faster, to ship Solana programs faster, which will be really interesting, I think. And yeah, thanks everyone for joining. See you guys next time.
Thanks everyone. See you.